Hi, this is Kathy with the Fund, and I'm here in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and I'm talking to Janet and Wayne Brunner, dairy farmers, raw milk dairy farmers from Arkansas, Wisconsin. Yeah. And I'd like for them to talk a little bit about the DATCP action that just happened that's impacting their farm. Do you want to start, Janet, or
you
Wayne?
Go for it.
Okay.
January 29th.
Yeah, January 29th they sent interrogatories and a request for information from us. It was quite elaborate. I think I could fill my pickup truck with the paperwork they wanted.
Going back to 2002.
Yes.
So they're asking for information going back to your farming 8 years.
Yes. You mean you shouldn't even have to keep stuff that long legally, I don't think.
Right.
But so
That was on January 29th.
yeah. Our local sheriff called us a couple days later, and wondered, because his deputy had delivered the papers, and they had read them, and they thought it was ridiculous and harassment of why they would want that kind of stuff for what we were doing. And then he expressed his disheartenment with it to Chris Dano, our representative in the assembly in Wisconsin that actually started the raw milk bill. And so he was quite upset too. He called us and said, "Is this really true that they're doing this?" And he was upset because it looked like he started the raw milk bill, and then they're trying to persecute farmers and make an example, and he didn't understand why they would be doing that at this time.
Oh, so he had introduced a bill, and at the same time they came after farmers.
As soon as word got out that he was going to introduce the bill, the trouble started for the farms.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Coincidence?
all the farms across to Wisconsin.
We're not thinking that's a coincidence,
No.
right?
No.
Right. And your share sounds like from the remarks that I've seen actually in the press, it's been pretty widely quoted. My feeling is that he thought they were bullies, like a schoolyard bullies taking advantage of.
Especially given the fact that we've had a roller coaster ride with the Department of Ag for 10 years, and we knew when we were visited by 2 investigators back in August of last summer, something was boiling. There was something big going to happen. So we, in fact, had made the decision back in October. On the 23rd, in fact, we announced to our members that we were going to stop selling raw milk and dairy products. So the fact that they still continued to send these papers to us kind of really goes over the line. They knew where we stood. They knew we had stopped, yet they still continued to persecute us for it. I mean, what good did that do anybody?
Somebody had talked to Cheryl Daniels, and she said, well, they're still doing it.
Oh,
So she didn't believe we'd stopped.
Yeah, they had a false assumption about what you were doing.
Yeah.
So back up a little bit and just tell me what you were doing in terms of you were selling or distributing raw milk?
Well, we have been through either a share program or a membership program for the last 10 years.
This to only private people,
Private
nobody off the
membership only.
street, no retail sales in stores. Right, so only people that you knew and knew the farm.
Right, and at first they started coming for just the milk. Over the years it grew. They started asking for local eggs, local maple syrup, hamburger, you name it, and we tried to squeeze as much as we could into this little building where they were collecting their milk. Outgrew that, and 4 years ago, totally funded by income from our little mini mart, I guess you'd call it. We did build a new store on the farm, which is member only. They had to have a membership card just to come in the door. And that is where we made our products available. And October 23rd, when we made the announcement to our members that we were quitting selling raw milk, it didn't happen immediately, but over the course of the next few weeks, month, 6 weeks, we lost all but about 5% of them.
My, what kind of economic impact is that?
Well,
It's been pretty devastating. At the same time, our milk price dropped in half from the dairy also.
So you were also selling milk into a co-op?
Yep, some to a co-op.
So it's a double blow, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's been kind of hard, and we're just really hanging on for the raw milk bill, I guess. Trying to put our efforts into that.
Right. I saw that you brought something to our, the Legal Defense Fund is exhibiting here at the Moses Conference, and I saw that you brought something to the table. Could you tell me more about what's going on March the 10th?
Actually, originally there was scheduled 2 hearings for the raw milk bill for Wisconsin. The assembly was to take place in Madison, committee hearing that is, and the Senate committee hearing was to take place in Eau Claire. We just got news yesterday that they're going to join the 2 together and have both committee hearings on March 10th at 10 o'clock in Eau Claire at the Chippewa Valley Technical College auditorium. We need people. Right now, there are 9 farms involved with various dealings with the Department of Ag. We're not the only ones suffering. I mean, we're going downhill at a very fast pace, but we're not the only ones. We need to get this bill passed this session. Otherwise, if it gets held off until next session, we won't be here, and many of the other farms won't either. And quite honestly, I believe that's what the Department of Ag wants. They want the little farms gone, and we want to hang on long enough to get this bill passed and prove otherwise.
Right, right. So what do you need, what would you like to see happen? I mean, what's your dream about what would happen?
Well, we'd like to see 2,000 to 3,000 people show up at this
Wow,
hearing.
that feels great. 2,000
Yeah,
to 3,000. There's
2,000 to
room for it,
3,000.
right? They have a large
They
auditorium.
have seating for 2,000.
Okay, great.
If we could get that many people, I think there's a pretty good chance the committees might be swayed our way.
Right. So if a handful of people show up, the legislators are willing to go out on a limb, are you saying?
Yeah.
So you
when,
really
when they
need a...
see consumers and mad mothers and what have you that have lost their source for raw dairy, they're representing or supporting the raw milk bill, it's going to make an impact.
It will make an
will.
impact. Right.
And
So
the sheer
that's-
numbers means votes. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
That's right. It's
We-
a good perspective there, Wayne.
We've
For
actually
all the
heard-
legislators listening in, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We have heard that for every person that is there in person, it speaks to the committee as 10 votes.
I gotcha.
Because for everyone that's there, there's 10 people that can't be there.